today's video, we're gonna be talking about some unpopular houseplant opinions. I found this post on Reddit and it has a lot of comments, a lot of opinions. People have a lot of unpopular opinions in this houseplant hobby, and I picked a couple to discuss and talk about in this video. I will be sharing my own opinion and I will be sharing whether I agree or disagree with the statements. There were a lot of comments on this post, seriously, and there is even like multiple posts of this type. So if you would like a part 2 of this video, please let me know in the comment section below. And if you have any unpopular opinions of your own, please leave those in the comment section below as well. And maybe I could add them into the next installment of this video. I think this video will be very fun. It's gonna be cozy, chatty, hangouty kind of video, and we're just gonna shoot some shit. Also, I just want to mention that none of this should be taken seriously. This is all just for fun, and I'm just going to be sharing my own opinion. So please take everything that I say with a big grain of salt, and if you disagree with me, that is completely fine. We don't have to agree on everything all the time. It's fine for people to disagree, as long as we have mutual respect towards each other. I hope you will enjoy this video. Grab yourself a cozy little snack, maybe a cup of tea, because it will get piping hot up in here. And without further ado, let's get started. So the first one that I picked out says you can have too many plants. Hoarding is hoarding no matter what the object is. Damn. And this has 300 upvotes, and yeah, I mean, as much as I would like to disagree with this point, because having a lot of plants is fun, I do have to agree that hoarding is hoarding, no matter what the object is. And if you have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of houseplants and you're just like overflowing your house with plants to the point where it is getting in the way of like your everyday functionality, yeah, that is hoarding. That is hoarding, and that is a problem. If you are collecting more plants than your space allows or your budget allows, that is a problem. It is a big problem that you should definitely address. Like this person said, hoarding can manifest in a lot of different types of ways, and it doesn't matter what object you're buying, whether that be furniture, clothes, antiques, plants, artwork. Everything can get out of hand pretty quickly. And I feel like plants in particular can get out of hand very quickly because there is so many. There are so many varieties of plants. There are so many different genuses, and even like one specific type of plant has like multiple variations. Like you have for example, a Hoya. It can be a regular green Hoya. It can be outer variegated. It can be inner variegated. It can be silver. It can be splashy. It can be big leaf. It can be small leaf. And you know, if you try and collect all of the varieties, all of the genuses, it can get a lot very quickly. And something that I always encourage you to do is mindfully shop for your plants. And I feel like this definitely affects like any beginner houseplant parent. Like whenever you get into this hobby, you're just so excited, and every single plant purchase just feels so special and so magical. But I just want you to remember that you can have and enjoy this plant hobby without having like thousands of plants. Like you can have 5 to 10 plants and still be part of this community, still be part of this hobby, and still enjoy it and be a plant parent. Just because we are constantly bombarded by those spaces that have hundreds and hundreds of plants doesn't mean that we need to do the same. You can just have a couple of your favorite plants in your collection, love them, and honestly, the hobby will probably be a lot more sustainable for you in the long run. Now, of course, who am I to judge, or who am I to talk about this? Because I do have over 100 houseplants, but I try to be very mindful when it comes to buying new plants. I try to really think about new plants that I'm adding to my collection, and I'm happy with the number of plants that I have. I currently just, I don't know, I don't think I could house any more plants, like physically. I just don't have the space or the conditions for more plants, and I'm happy with the number that I am. And I think that is kind of important, just to find out like your comfort zone, to find out your limit, whether that be 10 plants, 50, 100, 1,000, doesn't matter. As long as you don't go over that threshold of your comfort, I think you should be fine. And yeah, just be mindful that more is not always better. Especially if you have like a lot of plants that are stressing you out and that you can't even take care of, and then you just have like a bunch of neglected plants that are suffering. I mean, who wants that? Nobody. So please just be mindful with your plant purchases and how many plants you have in your collection. I encourage frequent purging and frequently asking yourself, does a particular plant actually bring you joy, or do you just have it for the sake of having it? People fuss too much over their plants and try to force plants to grow in spaces that are really unsuitable for their available environment. For example, my house faces north. There is no simple way to grow many succulents or cacti well because of my setup. That is their first opinion. And their second one is that metal racks of plants in fast food cups look like shopping addiction and not gardening. Okay, so let's address the first one. I absolutely agree. I feel like people just try to force this hobby, just like this person mentioned. Like, if you do not have the available space or the available conditions for a plant and you buy a plant just so it suffers and slowly dies, I don't think that's really good. Now, if you are aware of the fact that the plant will die and if you just want to keep it as kind of like a flower arrangement, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Like, if you have the money, if you have the resources, like, who am I to tell you no? But knowingly putting a plant, for example, in a dark corner and then expecting it to thrive is just, it's ridiculous. It's really, really ridiculous. And I see this a lot in interior design and it just drives me insane. Does that big ass olive tree look gorgeous in that dark corner? Yes, it does. But honey, it will die. It will die. And I just get so furious when I see all of these like interior designers talking about all of these like plants that are great for your interior, but they don't take into consideration the actual needs of the plant. That just drives me insane. So what I would recommend is just work within your means. If you have a north-facing window, just buy plants that are suitable for north-facing windows like philodendrons, pophosis, maybe monsteras. Don't go buying cacti and succulents. Now, of course, you can't always supplement stuff like light and humidity, but I know that not everybody wants to do that. So honestly, just keep this plant hobby within your means and keep it within, again, your comfort level and your comfort zone. I have a lot of grow lights because I love having a lot of plants, and unfortunately, I am not blessed with having the best lighting exposure or the best natural light. So I do rely a lot on grow lights, but I'm fine with that. Like, I love my setups, I love my grow lights, and I love how my plants look under them. So I don't mind that, but I know some people just don't like that and don't want that extra cost in, electricity. You have to buy grow lights. It can get quite expensive quite fast. And then their second point is that metal racks of plants in fast food cups looks like shopping addiction and not gardening. I agree. I'm sorry. I can never with those like metal racks. And we all know what this person is talking about. And listen, I have plants in cups. Like, I have some of my propagations in cups, but I don't like having them. I just use them as like a temporary vessel for propagating. And once they get out of propagation mode, I move them into like a nursery pot and then put them into a cute cover pot. And the metal like rack shelves, I don't like them. Now, obviously, I don't have a plant room. If I had a plant room, maybe I could get away with something like that. But I want my plants and my plant spaces and my plant setups to be aesthetic and pretty. And yeah, those metal racks are just ugly. Honestly, I don't even like when people just like use a nursery pot without a cover pot and just like leave it on like a plastic saucer. I don't know. I'm just like, oh no, like, especially because cover pots can be so beautiful. Now again, I'm speaking from like a point of privilege because cover pots, especially beautiful cover pots, are so freaking expensive. So I get it. It's a lot, especially when you have to buy like cover pots for like 100 plants. But that's another thing that I did. I slowly increased the number of my plants. I didn't go from like 1 to 100, and I kind of did the same thing with my cover pot collection. So for example, if I would buy like a new plant, I would usually also buy a cover pot to go alongside it. And I didn't wait till I collected like 100 plants and then decided to put them all into cover pots. But obviously, this is a very, very personal preference. Not everybody cares or needs to have a aesthetic space, which is completely fine. Like if you like those metal rack shelves, by all means use them, but you're not gonna see them in my setup, okay? I don't understand the current hype with Anthuriums. They all look the same to me, and everything seems to be hybrid X hybrid on hybrid. So I have no idea what I'm actually looking at. I agree. Like Anthuriums are just they're the hot commodity. They are the it plant in today's society, in today's world, and honestly, I don't understand it either. I was actually looking at a Anthurium specific shop before this video because I just wanted to see what they had, and honestly, they all look the same to me. I'm sorry. Most of them, especially like those hybrids, like for example, crystallinum hybrids, papillolaminum hybrids, they all look the freaking same. And I think it's fine to have like a couple of each, like, I don't know, maybe like 1 or 2 or 3 like crystallinum hybrids. But if you have like 20 crystallinum hybrids, like, girl, I'm sorry, but those like marginal small differences just aren't enough to convince me to have like 100 Anthuriums in my collection. It's just, I don't like it. Now, of course, there is differences between Anthuriums, and there are different types of Anthuriums, like there are pendant Anthuriums, and obviously like the crystallinum looks a lot different from something like a luxuriance, which I think that's fine. But if you have like, I don't know, 10 Carla Blackier hybrids, like, I am sorry, but they all pretty much look the same. Like BVAP hybrids, yeah, they all look the same. And I'm sure to the trained Anthurium enthusiast, he will know the differences. He will be able to spot like what kind of hybridization is going on. But for me, an average Joe, I don't care. I don't care. They most of them look exactly the same to me. But honestly, what bothers me even more with Anthuriums are just the prices. The prices are insane. And I would love to get more into the Anthurium world. I think they are interesting plants. I really love their growth pattern. I love how they just emerge as a teeny tiny plant and then can get huge. I love that. I really, really do like Anthuriums, but I just cannot justify the price of some of these plants. Like, are you kidding me? Paying a couple of $100 for like a seedling or a small plant? I could never. Like, I don't know what some of y'all are doing and what kind of jobs some of y'all have, but like, I do not have that money, okay? I do not have that kind of money. So for me, the money thing is more of a problem when it comes to Anthuriums, but I get it. They are very, very sought after. There are a lot of hybrids. There's a lot of varieties. And I get that there is a lot of hype around it, but I'm just like, I just can't afford those prices. I cannot. Like, it drives me mad. It drives me mad. But on top of all of that, a lot of them do look the same, and no shade to people who primarily collect Anthuriums. I think their collections are beautiful, but whenever I see like, I don't know, a shelf filled with Anthuriums, most of them look the same to me. But like, hey, again, who am I to judge? I just don't like the price. Okay, that I can judge on, okay? I can judge the prices because the prices are insane, and I'm not gonna pay like, I don't know, $100, $200 for like this small of a plant. Like, no, miss me with that shit, okay? Houseplants don't improve air quality, they improve aesthetics. Oh my God. Now, I feel like this is kind of an old myth, and I feel like nobody even believes in this anymore, but you can still, in a lot of like plant shops and a lot of like big box shops, stores, you will find plants being marketed as air purifying, which that's just a bunch of horse poo. Okay, that is absolute nonsense. Plants do not have that effect. You would have to have a lot of plants for them to have any type of effect on your air quality. So please don't believe that nonsense. Just whenever you see anybody writing that a plant purifies the air, just know that that is such a marketing tactic. It is absolutely not true. And honestly, you should avoid companies that do that, because obviously they are just interested in your money. They do not care about your actual well-being or the well-being of the plant. They just want to sell it to you at a good price, and that's all they care about. So yes, I absolutely agree that plants do not improve air quality, but they do improve aesthetics. And I feel like a plant or a space is not complete without plants, at least for me. And you don't have to have 100 plants, like a couple of plants here and there. I can't imagine my life without plants. I don't think I would ever have a space without a single plant in it. Maybe I won't have like 100 plants forever. Probably not. I believe that once I kind of get older and more into this hobby, that I will curate my collection to have fewer plants, but I can't imagine going back to 0 plants. And I can't even imagine my life before finding out about houseplants and how much I love them. Like I had 0 houseplants like maybe 4 years ago, and just thinking about that is insanity because of where I am at right now and how much I love this hobby and how much this hobby has truly transformed me. So I think everybody should at least own a couple of plants, and I think they can really transform and make a space just look so cozy and inviting and pretty. So yeah, big fan of plants and what they do. I just don't get the Monstera hype. Is it an aesthetic thing? A lot of people don't like Monsteras, which I feel like is, I don't know, it's kind of weird, not gonna lie. Now, I get it, because they can get huge. They can take up a lot of space. They aren't the easiest plants to take care of, even though they are oftentimes marketed as like a beginner-friendly plant. I don't think so. Also, they are oftentimes marketed as a low light plant, and y'all, Monsteras love light. Like, your Monsteras will not look pretty or size up without light, okay? They will not do well in a dark corner. And I think that a pretty healthy Monstera is probably one of the most beautiful houseplants ever, but oftentimes indoors they do look quite leggy, sicky, not that great, but it's because there is so much misinformation on the internet, and so many people and so many shops label them as a low light, when in fact these plants freaking love light. So in my opinion, I think Monsteras are absolutely beautiful. Now, obviously there are exceptions. Like, I'm not a big fan of, for example, the Obliqua Peru. That one is just not for me. And honestly, even my like Adansonii is low-key pissing me off. So plants like that I'm on the fence with, but like my regular green form Monstera, my Tycon, my Albo, I love those plants. And I think why Monsteras are so hyped and so loved is because they are just classic. They are iconic. Just that Monstera leaf shape, it is so iconic. Everybody knows about the Monstera, and just the holes, the fenestrations, the whole package, it is so tropical. It is so, again, iconic, you know, it's so nostalgic. It has so many emotions tied to its existence, which is why I believe that it is so popular and so hyped. And I don't think Monsteras will ever go out of style. I truly believe that a large form green Monstera is timeless, and in any type of space it can look really, really amazing. But I do think that a lot of people get the care for monsteras very, very wrong and think that they are low light, low maintenance plants. There is a lot of maintenance going into monsteras, especially if you want to keep them like looking pristine, because they are absolutely a thrips magnet, and you have to be so on top of your monsteras and making sure that they are pest free, because yeah, thrips absolutely love them. But in my opinion, I would say that monsteras are just amazing and I love them so much. So I will have to kindly disagree with this person, but also everybody has their own opinions and their own taste, which is perfectly fine. I love my monsteras, but I will say that I am starting to run into the issue of them outgrowing my space, and I don't know where I'm gonna put them or how I'm looking at them. That's why I'm looking off screen. I don't know. They're getting big. Okay, they're getting big. And part of me is like excited about it because obviously big monsteras, who doesn't love that? But part of me is like, what am I gonna do? Like, what in the actual hell am I gonna do with these plants? But you know what? That's a problem for future me. So present me will not worry about that. I can't stand the plant influencers. Majority of the advice they give is garbage, and they are 100% to blame for the inflation prices of rare plants. Oh girl, we have a feisty one. We have a feisty little one. Now, first of all, I just want to say that they are absolutely not 100% to blame for the increase of rare plants. Everybody was buying plants back in the pandemic, okay? And I think that is the reason why the prices skyrocketed. Did influencers have something to do with it? Yes, because the plant influencing market also skyrocketed during the COVID, but they are not 100% to blame, okay? There were very expensive plants even before COVID and even before like being a plant influencer was a thing. Like there were collectors who would spend thousands of dollars on auctions to buy like these expensive, very rare plants. So I don't think the idea or the concept of expensive plants is something new, and blaming a certain group of people 100% for the increase of like plant prices is kind of insane, but you do you, boo. So that's on that point. But I will say, when it comes to the advice section, yeah, sure. A lot of influencers usually don't have like any type of formal education. I do not have any type of formal education when it comes to houseplants. Like I am doing this as a hobbyist because I love plants and I love talking about plants. Everything that I talk about is from my own experience and from my own trial and error and just seeing what works for me and what doesn't work for me. And personally, I think it's just about finding influencers that suit you and suit your needs. For example, I watch only a handful of influencers, and I don't really follow those influencers that talk about like care tips or how to take care of a plant. That is just not the content that I am interested in. I will watch those videos from time to time if I am, for example, buying a new plant and I'm doing research on the plant and I just need to know how to take care of the plant. But 9 times out of 10, if I'm watching like plant YouTube, for example, I will watch people who just do this for the fun of it. I love watching people who just make cozy, hangouty type of videos. For example, y'all know I always talk about Wild Fern. She is by far my favorite planty influencer creator here on YouTube, and she was a big reason why I wanted to do this as well, because her videos are just so cozy and it feels like I'm just hanging out with a friend. And she is never trying to tell me how to grow plants. She's just sharing her opinions, what is working for her, what is not working for her. And that kind of content I really appreciate, and that's kind of the type of content that I want to make myself. And I also do want to add that for me personally, plant influencers have done so much good. Like just the hours of enjoyment and relaxation that plant YouTube has brought me is has been really amazing. Like if I'm having a stressful day and one of my like favorite plenty YouTubers uploads a video, it makes my day. It brings me so much joy, and I don't think I would be in this hobby, and I would definitely not be doing YouTube if plant influencers weren't a thing. So I do agree that not all influencers are like knowledgeable and that you shouldn't be listening to everything that somebody says or does. However, I also don't want to paint like just a black and white picture and say that influencers are bad or good. They are a gray. Like everything in life, everything has a positive, everything has a negative, everything has a con and pro. And honestly, you should just find the people that you enjoy and that you like, and that's all that really matters. Now, I will say that I do not personally enjoy TikTok, Instagram Reels, Shorts about plants. Like most of the time, I find those extremely cringy, but that's just me, and I don't watch that kind of content, and I avoid it, and that's fine. Like I found something that works for me, and I found something that I love, and I think you should do the same. So yeah, just my 2 cents on the whole influencer thing, because I do see a lot of people talking about influencers, and influencers always get like a bad rap when honestly they're just doing it for fun. And if you are doing something just for fun and for the heck of it, like I don't think you deserve any type of hate or blame. So yeah, I would hard disagree with this one, okay? Oh, this one is long. Okay. People are making work for themselves by trying to sanitize their plants. Overuse of pesticides, killing all spiders or predatory mites they see. Sterilizing soil to prevent pests, but also removing any beneficial worms or isopods or springtails or other decomposers or fungi. And then having to compensate with the cure-all neem oil when they get thrips or aphids, or struggling with the perfect blend of fertilizers because their plant is now essentially living in dirt with nutrients they can't access. Good, healthy soil is the whole system of substance and organisms. I think in a lot of cases, if people let things get a bit less tidy, they'll have better luck. Plants evolved to grow outside in the dirt mixed with poop and mold and fungi and all kinds of bugs. It's an uphill battle to get them to do something else. Now, I will say that I partly agree with this because yes, plants live in nature. Plants need that whole ecosystem in the soil in order to uptake nutrients and in order to be healthy and thriving. But worms, poop, like, I'm sorry, I do not have any of that in my houseplants inside. And honestly, if you are having worms indoors, I think that's quite big of an issue. So yes, pumping your plants and your soils with unnecessary chemicals isn't healthy, but like worms, no, ma'am. Like it's a lot. Okay, so I just think like you should just try like the all natural route. Try to use a good soil, use good soil amendments, use a fertilizer. Do not use neem oil, please. It's garbage. Just discard it. And just try your best to mimic the environment that your plants come from. But obviously, I want my plants to be clean, okay? I don't want like dirt everywhere. I don't want to have stinky soil. I don't want to have dusty leaves. So I'm gonna continue cleaning my plants, but I recommend using like more organic products like castile soap, for example, is a great option to clean your leaves. And when it comes to soil, like just try to use like a good quality soil blend and you should be fine. So yeah, also if you have worms in your soil, please get rid of that, because that's kind of that sounds so nasty. I'm sorry, that sounds so nasty. So yeah, I would say agree with some things, and I agree that we shouldn't like overly sanitize our plants, but I also like they're indoors. Like I don't want a mess in my house, and I don't want like all sorts of critters in my house. And also I don't think I've ever seen like a predatory bug on my plants other than like maybe spiders, like your regular household spiders. And listen, I'm not a fan of spiders, okay? So I'm not removing them from the plants because they're bad for the plants. I'm removing them because I'm scared of them, and I will scream if I see a spider. So yeah, sorry, not sorry. And then I wanted to end on a light note because this one, I saw this one and I was like, hell yeah, samesies girl. And it says, I haven't sanitized my snips a single time in my life and all is well. And yep, I agree. In the beginning, I was making sure that I cleaned my shears every single time that I would use them, but nowadays, I pretty much never clean my shears. I'm just like, whatever. I mean, my plants don't have any like gross diseases or sicknesses. I don't struggle with like fungal issues. So honestly, the chances of me getting anything bad from reusing or like not washing my shears is very, very minimal. So I don't bother. Like I will clean them once in a blue moon if they get like really, really gunked up. But other than that, I never clean them, and I definitely don't clean them like after every use or before every use. I'm just like, who has the time for all of that? I know people do that, and I know that's kind of like a big advice whenever like you Google like houseplant advice. Everybody will tell you clean your shears, make sure you have disinfected shears, and yeah, I don't do that ever, and I have never had any issues. So I agree with this one. I agree with this one a lot, and I feel seen, I feel heard, and I feel validated. So that is it for this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you would like a part 2 of this video, let me know in the comment section below, because there were a lot of comments in that post, and I could definitely fish out some more for y'all so we can discuss them. And I would also like to remind you once again that if you have any unpopular houseplant opinions, leave them in the comment section below. I would love to have a giggle. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more, and turn on the notifications so you're notified about every new video. I hope you have a super amazing, fabulous day, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!